That's why he says good things about me, right? All right, so we're just going to jump into this today. I'm going to show you something right off the bat here, and let me go in here and find the presentation, and then I don't know if I start presenting this on a bigger screen or not. Tell me if this works. Did that increase?
Yep.
Did that do it?
Yep.
Okay, so obviously you can get my contact anywhere. If you want to QR code me, you can put your phone up and it'll put my my personal contact information in your phone. So if you want to do that, that's great. I'm just going to show you how we're growing our business. It says 42% in 12 months, but I'm going to show you some statistics that are well more than that in today's marketplace, exactly what we're doing that's working. So, but let's just start this way. How about we just get everybody a lead right off the bat? Would you guys be okay if we just get you, go ahead and put a deal in your pipeline? Do me a favor, just take out your cell phone and pick a real estate agent. I don't care who the agent is. Personally, just find one that's in your phone and pull up your text message and send them this text message. I've got it on the screen right now, and spell it right because I don't. It's not I now, it's I know, right? I know the business has been difficult, but I admire how you are getting after it every day. Just wanted you to know I'm cheering you on. That's it. Just text them that right now. And my guess is before we are through the next few slides, you're going to get some responses. And several of you guys are going to end up with an opportunity just from that little simple text message. Okay. So don't pass this opportunity up. Pull out your phone, find an agent, text them that right now. Doesn't matter which agent it is. Okay. And then I'm going to ask you at the end how many people got responses. Okay. Now, this is a little bit dangerous because your phone can start going off while I'm trying to preach. But I always found like if you add value to people's lives first, it's always the best thing to go and do. So this plan, I told you it's 42%, but here's a couple of people we work with. Rich, he's up over 250% year over year. So, and we just recently looked at this. So January through March this time last year versus January through March this time this year, using this formula and plan we're going to lay out, he's over 250% more business today than he was this time a year ago. Robbie, over 200% more right now than he was a year ago. Okay, so those are real tangible results from real loan officers out there implementing what I'm going to share with you guys today. Okay. All right. Couple of just baseline things that we talk about all the time. Number one, it's a Nick Saban quote. If you're a fan of him, if you want to be good, you really don't have a lot of choices because being good takes what it takes. It just does. And success doesn't happen overnight. It happens over time. And it only happens over time if you're consistent with the things that it takes to be good. If you're constantly distracted and moving around and doing different things, all you're doing is prolonging your consistent success. So that's number one. And number two, mediocre people don't like hanging around high achievers, and high achievers don't like hanging around mediocre people. Pretty simple, but a couple of sort of base rules there. So if you're a high achieving loan officer, you're more likely to attract high achieving real estate agents because birds of a feather kind of do flock together. Okay. All right. So let's just jump into this. Data point number one, and I've been studying this data for years, and I'm going to show you tangible proof of it. But the average real estate agent, which is 98% agents in the marketplace, okay, there's already got one response, closes only one loan per year per loan officer. Let me say that again. Average real estate agent is going to close one loan with you in the next 12 months. And that's always shocking to a lot of loan officers. They're like, no way, I got Susan and we did 3 deals last year, or I got Bob and he did 6 deals with me. And I agree. You're going to have a handful of them, somewhere between 3 and 9 that do maybe more than one transaction with you a year. But 90% or more of the agents that you know and you meet are worth one closing in 12 months. Now that's a baseline, and we're going to reference that throughout this lesson today. So want you to be mindful of that, okay? Now, if you need business or if you want business, there's lots of ways to get it, but there's one really fast way. the fastest way to get business is a conversation, because conversations equal contracts. I'm so passionate about that. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. You can go buy it if you want. It's called Conversations Equal Contracts, and it's the art of turning small talk into big opportunities. Okay. So if you need business right now, sure, you can do videos and post and all these other things, and that's important. And we're going to get the word out any way we can. But if you need business right now, you got to pick up the phone and become a professional conversation starter. That's just how the game works. Okay. Now, here's a little bit of social proof, if you will, on the data point I told you about one loan every 12 months. I coach Allie. I've been coaching Allie now for 3 years. And Allie, when I first met her, was doing $15 million a year and had been doing $15 million a year for her short period of time. She'd been in the business 2 or 3 years, and every year she did about the same amount of business, $16 million. You see, I've got that slide from 2002, $15,584,000. She met me at an event. I was talking about the Circle of Referrals. She came up. She said, I think I need coaching. We set up a coaching arrangement. And the first year, right, she took everything we were talking about to heart. And the first year she implemented the Circle of Referrals, her business went from $15,584,000 to $43,829,000. But the big difference, and I want you to note this on the slide here, in 2022, she worked with 31 agents to get that volume. In 2023, she increased it to 126 agents for the $43 million. Okay. And this is how she ended up 2025. 2025, she did 579 transactions for $142 million. Average loan size is 246. Total agents that she worked with, 322. Okay. Now you can give me any name out there, and you can go check this for yourself. If you're on Redder, pull up any originator and go look at their Redder, and you're going to find they have some agents that give them multiple deals, and they have a lot more agents that give them one. And I'm really big on this because too many loan officers give up on relationships too fast. You have lunch and you expect a deal and it doesn't come in, and you don't contact them anymore, right? You work with them for 3 months, beg, borrow, plead, you still don't get a deal, and you dump them. Okay. So these are the things that, I don't know, is that important for me to look at now, Devin, that message?
Let me check really quick.
All right.
No, it's an AI assistant. Just Emily Campbell said she got a response.
All right, cool. Yeah.
So, yeah, AI. So
yeah, if you'll watch the messages for me, that'd be awesome. All right. So she just took this to heart and said, you know what? I'm not going to give up on the relationship until the relationship bears fruit. And this is a problem that I see a lot of loan officers. They give up and they'll just tell me like, yeah, Tim, I just redid my list. I wasn't getting any action. I'm like, well, how long have we been working the list? 4 months? Like, of course not. It's going to take 12. Okay. Giving up on relationships you start is a sure sign of setting yourself back. So let me just break this down for you. It's really easy. We're not building a rocket ship to space here. The challenge becomes is, can you make yourself consistent to fundamental behaviors? So number one, how many agents are in your circle? Okay. So the Circle of Referrals has 3 components to it. We have to educate people, we have to appreciate people, and we have to ask for business. I'm going to cover how to do each one of those components on today's call, but it all starts with how many agents are in your circle. If you say, Tim, I want to close 75 loans, you would need 75 agents. Now, I'm going to count the friends, family, database, all bonuses. I'm talking strictly business from real estate agents, right? So you're working with Devin, you're going to get a lot more opportunities, hands down. I see it left and right with his clients. But if you want business from agents, the number of loans is the number of agents you need to have in your circle. So that's step number 1, okay? Now, if you're like, well, Tim, I want 50 loans, but I only know 20 agents, so I'm 30 agents short. How do I meet 30 agents? Here's the fastest way to do that. Talk to your existing agents that you're friends with and say, hey, Devin, I really like working with you. It's been a pleasure doing business with you all these years. I'm looking to grow my business. Would you introduce me to 1 or 2 other real estate agents that you're friends with, you think that would be a good connection for me? Devin's going to do that. He's not going to say, no, I'm not introducing anybody. He's going to go, yeah, well, I know Susan and Tony. They're great. And then this is what I'm going to ask Devin to do right there on the spot. Okay. Devin, will you pull out your cell phone and will you text them separately and include me in it? And I promise you, I won't blow up that text chain. I'll take it offline. I've just found it better if it's a group text to get that next conversation. And he'll do it. So if you know 20 agents and you need to know 60, ask each one of them for 2. And by the end of the week, you'll have 60 agents in your circle. Okay. So you're going to add them to your circle and your CRM. And that's, if you're with Devin, you're using his CRM, that's where that QR code links to. And so you get them in the CRM, step number 1. Okay. Now we got to educate them. In our circle, there's 3 components: educate, appreciate, ask. So we got to educate them every month. The question is, how are we going to do that? All right. Now, we do it a number of different ways. One of the tools that we use is we print a full color magazine, high quality, and mail it to the agents every month. Here's some examples of past issues. We get their home address. It's hardly anybody's going to the office anymore, right? And they get this 38-page full color magazine with all kinds of marketing tips, scripts, social media plans. A lot of the ones this year, we're talking about AI tools, right? And what's powerful about this is it shows up in their mailbox. Now, there's a difference between going to the mailbox and going to the email box. The email box is still a powerful tool, but sometimes if I'm your agent, I might just hit delete all because it gets overwhelming for me. If I go to my mailbox and your magazine's there with your smiley face on it, I'll be like, oh my gosh, there's Devin again. This is one way we educate agents, okay? Now we do email them. We email them. We do strategy videos. We do things, educational marketing tips. Right now, our emphasis in 2026 is giving them AI tips left and right. It's one of the fastest ways to start conversations with agents. Know a little bit about AI. Say, I got this new tool. I got this. I got that. It will open up conversations with you. So we're sending a lot of AI tips, tricks, open house ideas. If you have brand new products at launch, that's another way to educate them. But we try to stay in the marketing, how to grow your business lane when it comes to education. And so we'll do videos, we'll do emails as well. Okay. So here's a great example of AI. We're using Sora because it's a free platform connected with ChatGPT. The videos are 10 seconds long. Here's some example of clients that we work with that do quick education videos. There's Rich. Rich probably has more Sora videos than anybody I know out there. He's a prompting king when it comes to that. And he niche markets non-QM products. So he's always educating the agents about the non-QM products. So that kind of serves as his education in the circle, right? So that's a great little tool. It's short, 10 seconds. I'm thoroughly convinced nobody has an attention span more than 10 seconds anymore. So this is why this tool is working so well, and it's free, and the likenesses aren't too shabby. Okay. Here's another way we educate agents. Now this part is inside our coaching program, but every month I bring on an agent to invite that people can invite other agents to listen to that webinar. A week ago, we had an agent on there that showed an AI tool that all these little AI robots would do things like manage your email, manage your calendar. One was a lead generator. I've already had agents, they went nuts over that. And so that was just a way for the loan officers to say, hey, here's a way to educate you this month and not have to come up with all the ideas. We just run it for them. So the top agent webinars are really good. Another way to educate agents is to go to their office and get in front of them and teach them something. We create tons of classes that are really easy to teach, and do little training videos like, here's how to teach this class. Now go find agents and talk to them about it. This was the very first one I ever did. You can see there's a whopping 3 people in the room. The third person over there was my assistant. I paid him to be there, so I really only had 2 people attend. But made him sit there and listen to me. So it made the room look a little bit fuller. But the thing about teaching classes is sometimes you have a room of 3, sometimes you have a room of 300. But you never have, you'll have a room of 0 if you never go out and do it. When I first started teaching classes, there was a girl that went to our church. She was a college student. I paid her $10 an hour to make phone calls to local agents' offices and ask if I could come in and teach the topic of the week, whatever that was. The goal was to get me in front of an office once a week for 52 weeks. Paid her $25 for every one that she secured for me. And here's why I did it. If you sit around all day calling people and they reject you, you feel like crap at the end of the day. Maybe not even the end of the day. You feel like crap after the 3rd rejection. So why put that on yourself? I just thought, hey, Robin can take the no's. She don't care, right? Because she's getting a check anyway. And I come into the office and she's like, hey, listen, I've already filled up June for you. You're at Keller Williams, Century 21, Exit Realty, and whoever. And these are the times you got to be there. And I told him you talk about video marketing. Great. I'm on my way. Now I'm feeling really good because, guys, listen, the script doesn't matter if your confidence is low. The strategy doesn't matter a hill of beans if you got no energy. Right? So all these intangibles, if your mindset and your energy and your confidence isn't in the right zone, it doesn't matter, right? Hopefully there wasn't, but there could be on the call somebody that didn't do the initial text because they just don't feel confident enough. And so they missed the opportunity, right? So you got to protect your confidence. You got to protect your mindset. You got to protect your energy, all those things. That's why I outsourced the setting up of these appointments to a dialer. Then I just received the, hey, I got opportunities, okay? So I've rebranded my whole education series, Agent Marketing Academy, because nobody wants to go to a lunch and learn. Every loan officer talks about lunch and learns. That's just that topic or that title has been just beat in the ground. Okay. So I just created a brand and made it look fancy, but all this really was a lunch and learn. Okay. So, branding it a little bit to sound a little bit special. That's a way to get in the front door. Okay. Now listen, let me tell you about classes. I learned this a long time ago in my career. I'm going to teach an agent class, but I am not going to get caught up into whether or not they do anything with what I teach them. Because I used to get caught up in that. I used to think, I'm going to come in, I'm going to be this educational expert. I'm going to wow them over. They're going to be like, oh my God, now I can use this stuff. I'm going to immediately implement it in my business. I'm going to get all these leads and I'm going to send them to Tim. That's what I thought. And then I realized they were there for the Chick-fil-A or the biscuits. And they weren't doing much with the information I taught them. Okay. And I wasn't getting referrals. And so I was leaving some of these meetings like frustrated. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? And then I learned this very simple concept. And here's what it is. People would rather be entertained than educated. Think about it. If there's the SEC tournament's going on here in Nashville for right now. The basketball tournament's going on. I guarantee you there's a lot more people at that basketball game than there is the public library. So people go for entertainment. So I changed up my whole method. I actually went and took a comedy class for 6 weeks. I went to this comedy class trying to be funny. And the guy said, are you trying to get on stage? What are you trying to do? I said, dude, I'm trying to make a Keller Williams agent laugh, because if they'll laugh, they'll send me a referral. That's the only reason I'm here. Teach me a joke. Okay. And through that, I actually living in Nashville, I did a lot of loans for these songwriters and stuff. And I would talk to them. I'm like, how do you put on shows and how do you entertain people? And they gave me little tips and tricks. So totally transformed all my classes. They're great education. They have action plans. They have steps, and people could learn and they could do something with the information. That's not my responsibility to get them to implement. So we take it over the top. They're fun. People laugh. They win little prizes. It's all like high energy and things like that. And so you can see I got a crazy jacket. I don't wear that crazy jacket because I'm like, oh, I just love this crazy jacket. I wear that crazy jacket because it makes people laugh. And if people laugh, they generally like it a little bit more, right? And so these are some of the classes that we built out that we go around and teach. But here is a real catalyst to teaching classes, and it took me a little longer to realize this. If you don't ask for the business at the end of class, you're probably not going to get it. Okay. And so we take our information and we turn it into a survey, and I give everybody the survey at the end of the class, and I hold up the survey myself. And this is exactly what I say. I'm like, hold up your survey and wave it so I can see you got it. And they all do it, because I learned this too. If you're in front of the room, the atmosphere of the room and how people respond is 100% your fault. If they respond like dead, you were dead. If they respond positively, you were positive. And they'll take instructions from you. It's crazy, but they just will. So I'm like, hold it up, and they all hold it up. And I'm like, does everybody have a pen? If you do, hold it up and click it. So we got paper waving and clicking sounds going on, right? And then I'm like, hey, let's just read this together, because I need everybody to get 100 because we're grading on the curve today. Little joke, right? And it's like name, address, all the contact information. Now, number one, I don't ask them what do they think. I ask them what their biggest takeaway was. If you ask them for their opinion, you're going to read somebody who put opinion on there that they don't want, that's going to mess you up, right? When I first started it, I was like, what was your opinion today? And I had one lady said, you talked about Jesus too much. And I was really offended. And I was like, well, crap, now I got to change, and that's why I was like, no, I don't care about your opinion. What was your takeaway? Okay. Number two, would you be interested in a cup of coffee to talk about your biggest takeaway and how you can implement it in your business? And I'm like, y'all all like coffee? Just go ahead and click yes. I just tell them what to write. Okay. Number three, are you currently working with any buyers, maybe some sellers that I could provide a mortgage quote to? Right. Number four, would you like me to come back and do some more of these classes? Right. That could be really fun. I got a whole bunch of topics. Right. Number five, do you have any older leads that you wish you were working, but you're really not? Because maybe I could help you work them with some AI and stuff like that. And maybe we could engage some of these buyers and get you some leads. And then number six, hey, do you know anyone that you mind making an introduction to me, like another agent, a builder, whoever? And then I say, just leave it on the table. I'll come around and get it. And that's how we turn classes into productivity. When I go to teach a class now, I want to know how many agents are going to show up. So let's just say there's going to be 20 agents in the room. And let's say that the average loan size is $300,000. And I can get 50% of that room to tell me they got a buyer. That means 10 agents, each with a buyer at $300,000. That 45 minutes of my time, hour of my time, is worth potentially $3 million in my pipeline. If I did that once a week, that's up to $12 million potential in my pipeline just for an hour of my time and some Chick-fil-A, right? So it works. Being in front of people just works. Okay. We're going to save a little bit of time for questions too, guys. All right. Second step, appreciation. Now, the females in our industry do an amazing job at this. The guys in our industry, I'm a dude, I get it. We do a poor job at this universally. We kind of look at this stuff as cheesy. I'm going to ask you to suspend your current beliefs about this stuff because it works, right? When you send them little gifts, like this is one of my clients, I make one of my clients send me his pop by every month. And this was like some kind of bee wax, whatever that's for, right? Thanks for being so great to work with. Okay. Now he tells me, he goes, this is cheesy. I'm like, yeah, but how many deals did you get off of it? He goes, you're right. I'm going to keep sending stuff. Right. When you send them little promotional marketing messages and things like that, it triggers emotional reciprocity. Okay. If you express genuine appreciation, they generally feel motivated to return the favor and then some. Okay. Number two, it builds loyalty and trust. You stand out. Appreciated partners stick with you longer and through difficult times. Okay. It boosts productivity. Happy partners that get acknowledged, they just work with you better and they're more intentional about giving you referrals. Now, listen, the one loan rule still applies. So sometimes you send them 12 pop buys, 12 educational things, and you get one deal out of it. That's the game, right? But if you don't stick with it, you can't look at this stuff as losses. You have to look at this stuff as investments. Okay. And then number 3, you got to ask, right? I even had t-shirts printed. Does this shirt make my ask look big? Right. And if you're a manager of people, you need this shirt. I like big ask and I cannot lie. Because if you don't ask for opportunities, I've seen this happen. People will say, Tim, I'm doing the things. I'm teaching the classes. I'm sending them the little lollipops or whatever. And it's not working. And I'm like, do you talk to them? Well, what do you mean? I'm like, did you ask them? Did you say, hey, I'm running a appraisal special this month. It's going to save some clients some money. You have anybody that could use that savings right now? Right? You have anybody I could give a second opinion to? You have something that's fallen out another lender, maybe I could save it for you, right? You have to add the ask, all 3 components together. You can't just educate and do nothing else because your results are going to be minimal. You can't just appreciate and do nothing else. Your results will be minimal. You can't educate and appreciate and not ask. Your results will be minimal. You have to educate, appreciate, ask. And then guess what? Next month, you do it all over again. And then the next month, you do it all over again. And this system it will start producing results and get you very consistent in your business. Let's see that. Okay. Just wanted to jump ahead and make sure. All right. So this is a good stopping point for anybody that has questions, because I ran through it pretty quick. I'm happy to dive into anything that you might want to talk about right now. I should say that shy loan officers who don't ask questions have probably skinny kids.
So for the pot buys, do you recommend going to the office? I mean, folks aren't typically in the office. Leave it at their desk, mail it.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I should have covered that. Like when you're adding to your database, I think it's critical you get their home address, and things go to the house, unless it's just that 1 or 2 offices that generally have sales rallies and people milling around the office, hitting them at the home. We actually found this during COVID because nobody was at the office, right? And that's when we started mailing magazines and things like that to their house. And that was a huge, I didn't realize how powerful that was. But the only thing that usually shows up in their mailbox are pizza coupons and electricity bills. So if I can put a little fun in their mailbox, generally can get opportunities back. So great question. You got to get the home addresses.
Are people still seeing success with the lottery tickets?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of different ways. And you don't have to spend a lot of money, a couple of bucks. I mean, there was a lot of people that did sweetheart hearts from the grocery store for Valentine's Day. And a little message going, hey, you're the best agent I've ever worked with. And they message in, they're like, dude, I got a $600,000 referral from that. How do you recover a lost realtor after you got too busy and couldn't deliver on their leads? And I think it's Marable. You said say that again. I don't know what I need to say again. So if you can type, what did you say? Oh, the joke. Oh gosh, I can't remember. What was the joke? Devin, do you remember my joke?
No, you're always good on the fly. I'll have a transcription, Maribel, and I can send it.
Yeah, get a transcription. Maribel, he's gonna have to get a transcription because I grew up in the housing projects. We learned how to talk trash really at an early age, and you have to just be on the fly with that stuff. But it might come back to me in a second. But I mean, listen, I think people crave honesty, and I would just be honest with them, right? Like, hey, if I'm reading your message right. Hey, I dropped the ball and you may or may not ever let me recover from that, but I feel really horrible about it. And I would love the opportunity to recover from that, and make a full commitment to you that would never happen again. And I know I'm asking you, a lot of you to give me a second chance. But it'd be really important to me if you would. Now they may say no or yes at that point. I'd still drop them in my circle. Right. I'd love on them till I guilted them back into the fold. But I think addressing issues that both parties know happened up front from a place of honesty and transparency. Nobody does that. And I think when you are the person who does that, they look at you and go, oh, you won just for being straightforward and honest. That's my
Maribel, I'll add to that really quick. If you want, because I'm helping you with your marketing, you can always tell them like, hey, I noticed you have a new listing on the market. Could I create a single property site for you, and I'll boost that on Facebook for you to get reach in front of a bunch of people. Or if they have like an open house coming up, just let them know like, hey, I saw you have an open house coming up. Could I create a sign-in sheet for you that it makes it digital and all the leads go to you? Because I take care of that for you too. You just need to get their approval. And just different ways like that where you can provide marketing help. I can typically help with. So just let me know if you need any help on that, Maribel, when you reach out to.
I'll give you one last one there. And when you were talking, Devin, this triggered me. I was chasing down an agent one time that just wouldn't give us the time of day. And this would work in your case too, Maribel. And I got frustrated. I'm like, I'm going to get your attention because I'm really competitive. So if I really zero in, like, you're going to talk to me. And so I thought, well, I've tried every trick in my bag to get him to respond and it's not working. So I'll go find him a deal. And I made it my mission. I didn't know how long it was going to take, but it didn't matter where I was. If I was in a church group or wherever I was like, hey, if anybody's thinking about buying or selling, I've got an agent that I'd love to recommend to you. Just let me know first and I'll put that introduction together. And 3 weeks into this, okay. All right, Chad, we'll get that question answered here in just a second, buddy. It was 3 weeks into this that I was at the barbershop. And I was running my mouth. I was like, hey, if anybody down here, ever looking to sell a house or whatever, or buy one, I got this really good agent I'd love to introduce you to. And the guy cut my hair. He's like, dude, I was getting ready to put my house on the marketplace. I'm like, all right, don't call anybody. Let me make this connection. So I called the agent up, got his voicemail. He knew it was me. And I was like, hey, Monty, Tim here. I have a friend of mine wants to list this property. If you get a chance, give me a call back. You know how fast that phone rang? Like 2 minutes later, right? And so we ended up getting business and working together. But in your case, Maribel, I would like, it doesn't cost you any money just to ask people if they're thinking about buying or selling, somebody. And then you're coming back to that relationship going, hey, things didn't work out before on me. I totally take ownership responsibility of that. I would love the opportunity to get a second chance. And as a way of saying that, here's someone who wants to sell their house. So just another strategy.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Chad, the mortgage man. All right, let's see. He says, how did Allie Payne grow her office? She just does it all by herself. She doesn't have any support. I don't know why. I'm just kidding. So yeah, man. I personally coach her, right? So we've been down this road together. So in the beginning, she kind of had to be the head cook and bottle washer because she wasn't convinced that the business was going to be consistent, even though it started to come in at a higher load. And so we have a system by adding people to the team. And part of that system is my wife has a business that does disc reports. And I can't tell you how invaluable these are. They're literally everything. I care less about experience and more about personality fit. Truthfully, we've helped people build a lot of these $100 million teams. So we knew what Allie's strengths and shortfalls were. And we knew the personality that was best going to complement that, right? Because she wanted to hire a girl, and we did the disc report on her, and she's like, she's an amazing processor. And I said, I don't know how. Her detail score's 10. Like, she misses things left and right. Like, how's she amazing? Well, my friend told me she's great. Well, your friend does 2 loans every 6 months. Like, and if I hadn't have stopped her and we hadn't have gone searching for the right profile, she'd have really stepped backwards, right? So we started with one person. It wasn't the perfect match, but it was close enough to get her there, right? And then she just kept, now she's young and she's working a lot of hours here in the beginning to make this thing grow. So we got the one person in there, right? And then it got to the point where, like, we need another person. Like, you can't do all these applications and quote all these rates and all this stuff. Like, you just cannot be everything. So she was involved in an MSA where there was another lender in there. And we looked up the other loan officer, and I'm like, this other loan officer's capture rate's like 2%. And I'm like, you're going to overwhelm her. Like, you're going to take all the business from her, which so be it, right? I said, you should go up to her and go, hey, I'm getting all these leads. Would you be interested in taking a disc report to see if you make a good loan partner for me to work these up? And so she did, and the girl took it, and her disc report came in exactly like what I thought it was going to be. She wasn't as competitive as Allie. I'm like, we're going to make her an offer, and she's going to be your loan partner. And so all applications are going to start with her because she knows how to run credit. She knows how to structure loans. She just can't get it, right? She can't rainmate. And so now we had 3 people on the team, right? And so it just sort of kept growing that way. And the other couple of things is like the platform you work in plays a part of that too. Some platforms require more bodies than others. Some companies are more efficient, some are less efficient. So she's at a little bit of a less efficient organization, I think, in a way, where we had to have a few more bodies, but we just made it work, right? So I hope that answers your question, Chad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. That's a good question, though. All right, let's go back through here and make sure.
Hey, Tim, Anthony here. Thank you
What's up, man?
thank you for doing this. A lot of good stuff. My question is, how do you guys feel from a coach's perspective about having more than one coach at a time?
I think as long as they're in different, this is my opinion. Okay. I think as long as they're in different parts of your life. Like, I have a trainer, he's my trainer coach. Okay. So he makes me lift heavy and all that stuff. Right. So we talk about nutrition and lifting and all the physical parts of living. Right. And then I have a professional coach, right, that helps me just center my mind more than anything, because it'll race 90-0, right? But I don't know about, this is my opinion on it, and everybody can do their own life the way they want. I don't go to 2 different churches, right? I go to 1, right? Because if I went to 2 churches, it's supposed to be the same book, but they probably have a different interpretation, right? So now I leave confused, right? So I think as long as the coach is in a specialty, that's fine. But if they're trying to tell you the same thing from different points of view, my opinion is you could end up not moving forward and stay a little bit stuck.
Right.
Right. But again, that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the reason I bring it up is because there's another guy that I've known for a while, and he kind of focuses on building financial advisor relationships with mortgage originators, whereas I guess most of the other coaches kind of are more of a generalist outlook, right?
Yeah, I think interviewing coaches is really important. But yeah, I mean, to me, I had relationships with financial planners, CPAs. You don't need a lot of them, that I found, because 1 or 2 or 3 of them can provide you quite a bit of business, right? And their clients are a little bit different. If the planner says to go with you, the client doesn't really shop, because the planner has a lot of influence on them, But I also think there's 2 ways to sort of approach the business that I've noticed over the years. You can be a specialist like Rich, I showed you earlier. Let's see if I can go back to his little cartoon we did. Somewhere in here I had a cartoon. There it is. So Rich over here, he specializes in non-QM. So all of his marketing is non-QM, 100% of it. You won't find him marketing anything but that. And so, but even doing that, we talk about, like, you still need a lot of lead funnels. Like, agents are a lead funnel, builders are a lead funnel, financial planners are a lead funnel, CPAs are a lead funnel, because I think if you rely on one group and that group dries up, then your business dries up, right? So I don't know if that helps answer the question.
Yeah. So on a side note, what are your thoughts on, because I've been doing this for probably about 10 years, and I'll be honest with you, I'm just about done with having my business be determined by a realtor's production level, right? Or when COVID happened, a lot of realtors went up and down, they left, and I didn't like how my business fluctuated like that. So I figured I need to kind of be the lead generator myself. So I want to be the one that's dishing out leads to realtors, specific realtors that I want to work with, right? The cream of the crop ones that I choose. So what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I mean, it's not a bad concept, right? And I've talked to a lot of originators that want that. The challenge is like, how are you going to get the leads? At what cost, right? And that's been the mortgage industry's challenge for years, right? The realtors have always been the first person the customer turned to.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got the listings and they got the pictures and the signs and all that kind of stuff, right? So how do we get in that game affordably, right? Like the story I told of me trying to find the one listing just to get the agent to talk to me. I took 3 weeks, man. Like I was talking to everybody to find one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so what you're talking about, I'm going to give you a strategy here, by the way. What you're talking about is like, how do you get enough, right? And then who do you choose to give it to, right?
I like that problem. I like that, having that problem. That's
agreed.
The best part.
No, dude, agreed, right? But even if you give it to a highly productive one, here's what I've learned about realtors. I'm going to show you how to get leads and give it to them, right? But here's what I've learned about them. And God love them. When it comes to rocking the boat, if the borrower already has an existing lending relationship, they ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
Even if you're paying them money, right? I've seen this happen. Like a loan officer or companies involved in a lead share agreement or an MSA or whatever, and they're still only getting a certain percentage of the capture share. I'm like, where the hell's the other 80% going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the agents, by and large, are like, wow, even if they're approved with Rocket, there's only a small number of agents, because we actually teach how to get agents only refer you. But even then, it's not a very large number that will actually do it. They get a little nervous, quite frankly, and they don't want to lose their customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to share with you a strategy today, and I'm getting ready to deploy this strategy. But I changed my screen. Can y'all see it?
No,
I
no, yeah.
have to reshare.
And as far as the lead thing, that's why I'm working with Devin, because Devin's going to build my social game up. So because I think online now is probably the best chance loan originators have to attract leads. So that's why I'm here with Devin.
Devin will get you some leads, man. That dude, I mean, listen, I'm a Devin fan, a huge Devin fan, right? I mean, I get leads constantly from Devin in my world of the recruiting side of this industry, right? And so there's a tool out there called RedX. It's REDX, and it's like $99 a month. And then there's a lead onto it, a lead attachment, which it will be for expired listings. Because I got a good friend, he changed from mortgage to real estate and he's killing it. And all he does is call the expired listings in Texas. And he's closing several houses a month because the previous agent just did a poor job of marketing the property. But I was sitting down kind of like Dr. Dre with a pen and a pad, in the lab. I was trying to come up with something. And I was like, man, I think I'll hire a telemarketer to call the RedX leads, see if they'd be interested in working with one of my preferred agents. Right. Oh, so Devin, you might can speak to this, right?
Yeah, is that crazy? I didn't know. Yeah, I used to work in the same. They're from Utah, so I literally worked they were in the same floor and everything. That's so crazy.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, well, crap, man. Like I get a telemarketer to call those leads and go, hey, we have a list of expert real estate agents that are experts at helping homes sold that once expired. And would you be interested in talking to one of our experts on that? No obligation. And and I could probably hire a team of telemarketers for $9 an hour because I don't want to do it. I'm telling you guys, I protect my mental psyche. Like if I think there's even the slightest chance that I'm going to get rejected, I ain't making the call. Somebody else is, and that's just how I work. I work off of like the attraction method. And so I might try that approach, Anthony. You know what I'm saying? And the other approach that's kind of in the lab that we're working on is this, and I'll share this and I'll shut up. If marketing and business development has a lot more to do with human psychology than it does the graphics. And people focus on the graphics and not the human psychology. Like everybody wants 5-minute abs. Hell, they want 4-minute abs, right? Now there's a thing, just go get the abs sucked off of you, right? Like how fast can this thing happen, right? So human psychology wants instant results, right? So think about this. Get with Devin. This is exactly what I've hatched up. We haven't launched it yet, but I would go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, say, hey, write me a 7-minute how to buy a home webinar, right? And then I would record that sucker out. I would record it. And like on Zoom. And I would call it how to buy a home in 7 minutes or less. And nobody has any attention span. They want instant results. Okay. And then I would get Devin. This is what he did for me. Like my other world is recruiting. And he built me a landing page. And it's got one video and a link to my Calendly. That's what the website looks like. Right. And so, but we advertise it and people go there and they book appointments. And so I would have a website. It's like how to buy a home in 7 minutes or less. Then your little video, and then 2 options: go ahead and apply, or click now for an appointment. And I don't know where you live at, Anthony. I live in Nashville, so there's like literally hundreds of these community Facebook groups for all these like parts of town.
Mm-hmm.
And every week I go in there and go, hey, if y'all looking at buying a house, here's how to do it in 7 minutes, and put the link in there, and that's free. And I bet you Devin probably could do some ads for you on top of it. So Devin, you can speak to that. But those are a couple of quick ideas, Anthony. So
yeah, those are great. I'm right next door to you in North Carolina.
Okay. All right. Well, those are some things that I'd be looking at too.
Hey Tim, we're just cutting close on time. Is there a place where like if people have questions or want to learn more about coaching with you, like they could reach out to you and I can throw it in the chat?
Yeah, you know what you can do? There's a link to our coaching website in there.
Well, yeah, I'll throw that in the chat. So if you guys want to like ask Tim questions or book a call with him, do that there. And yeah. So there's that, and I'll give you one more real quick, Devin. I should have had it ready. Oh.
There's another. That's a little 15-minute call, but
so Tim does coaching. He also works for a mortgage company and does recruiting. And he's just reach out to him either way for either of those things. He's a good. Tim's awesome.
Hope that helped you guys today.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for hopping on. That helped, guys?
Oh, hey, real quick.
Yeah.
How many people got leads from the text? Just type me in there. I just want to see.
Mine hasn't responded yet, but I did send it out. And
okay.
I'm texting some of the clients, some of the realtors I lost, and Devin knows a little bit about my story, but I just lost a special needs sister back in November, and she would get hospitalized a lot. And the reason I moved into being a loan officer was really the time flexibility. So I lost a couple of realtors, and now I have more time. So
yeah, I think if you're just honest with your story about that, things will pop back for you, Maribel. I really do. And really, if people didn't get leads, they got responses, right? I see 2 people got responses. So hopefully you guys took us up on that to get some. The first step is the response, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Devin.
Yeah. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Next week will be CRM basics and training. So again, It is a little bit more boring of a training. So if you know Go High Level pretty well, you don't have to join those. And then for Thursday, I'll be adding a new feature that I'm doing for LOs that I'll go over. So see you guys next week. Thanks again, Tim.
Thanks, guys. See you.